Hi, I'm Laura Mize, pediatric speech-language pathologist, and welcome to TeachMeToTalk.com's Therapy Tip of the Week. Today I'm coming to you from my great new office in Shelbyville, Kentucky, and we're on the sensory side of the therapy room, and I want to talk to you about how we use these pieces of equipment in therapy sessions with toddlers. Now, so many times, and I hate it when this happens, an adult, a well-meaning parent or a therapist might even say to a child, "Come here, sit down, listen to me, you're going to learn from me now," and not want a child to engage in things like this during speech therapy. If that's been you in the past, I hope today that I can change your mind, because you're really missing an opportunity. So many of our friends and our children with language delays really also have sensory processing differences. To you, that child just may look busy. He may look like he's constantly on the go. He may look like he's never, ever going to stop. And you might be afraid to let him do some of these kinds of things because you think, I can't get his attention. He's not going to let me participate with him. If I let him do this, I'll never get to teach him anything. That is wrong, for lack of a better word. And again, I want to give you some other specific things and some new ideas for you to use with a child like that. Sometimes we have children who, because they have maybe some gross motor delays, they're a little scared or a little reluctant to do this kind of activity. Or again, they may not necessarily engage in this, and you would not even think about using movement in therapy with a kid like this because he's pretty sedentary. He'll stay with you, so you think, why in the world would I want to introduce something like this? He's already sitting, he's already there. You know, just because he's there, if he's not talking with you and actively engaging with you, you may still be missing an opportunity for movement. He may need movement to really rev up and really regulate to get to the point where he can start to process and understand and even talk and repeat some words back to you. So again, don't miss these opportunities with our children in early intervention to use movement as a part of your therapy session. Now, sometimes some therapists will say, I'm going to let a child do things like this. I'm going to give him his movement break. But again, they're over talking to mom or just kind of sitting kind of checked out themselves while a child is doing these kinds of things and missing, again, a wonderful opportunity to embed language into a movement activity. So you've got to be sure that you are making yourself part of that activity and keeping the child engaged and staying with him and targeting your language goals even while you let him do this kind of stuff. The first piece of equipment that I want to talk to you about is this great ball pit that was $100 from One Step Ahead. I think it's the best $100 that we spent for our whole new office. I know that I'm going to get lots and lots of great time with kids from this one activity. Again, it's a ball pit. I've got probably 400 or 500 balls in here and a couple of bigger ones just to make it fun. And toddlers and young preschoolers are naturally drawn to this kind of activity. Again, be sure that you are participating too. Throw the balls with them. You could even come up with some verbal routines with the balls and say something like, you know, up, 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 boom, and put some language into that activity. If a child is ignoring you and still likes the balls, maybe hide the ball in his shirt and say, you know, where's the ball? Where's the ball? And do that kind of thing. If he likes to be tickled, you could use this. If he's not really paying attention to you, you know, you could do a, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, and tickle his stomach and make yourself a part of this game. Last week I saw a little guy, and even the week before, same routine, different kid, where he was in the ball pit not really paying attention to me, and I put myself on this side of the plastic and called his name, and we came up with a little peekaboo game to do. And he didn't get to leave me out then. He's still having a good time. He's still getting the movement that he needs. He's still getting deep pressure from throwing himself and, you know, putting himself on his stomach on the balls. But he didn't get to check out and do that in a solitary kind of state. He had to let me engage and let me participate and be with him. So that's what you want to do with a piece of equipment like this. All right, let's move on to talk about a slide. Now, sliding is a great gross motor activity. If you're a developmental interventionist or special instructor, you may be working on motor skills as part of your overall plan for a child. But use this for a language activity as well. You can come up with some great verbal routines. I like to, while a child is climbing up, say up, 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 and then as he slides down, I say whee! And I say that every single time he slides because that helps him link meaning with what he's doing. It's a novel utterance. It's an exclamatory word with whee. So hopefully at some point in the future, I'm going to hear that word from him as part of this activity. If you have a kid that likes to do 1, 2, 3 counting, this would be a great way to use your little 1, 2, 3 go, or whatever your ready, set, go, again, that we've already talked about. Any kind of little routine like that you could implement by using the slide. The last piece of equipment that I want to talk to you about is this cool lycra swing. Now, you may be like me and have already used lycra just as a piece of material to swing a child, and that's great, but this is the fancier version that can stay put here in the office. But when I see children at home for home visits, I have a bigger piece of lycra that I often use, and what I usually do with that is just put it on the floor. If mom is participating with me, she'll grab a top and the bottom, and I'm on the other side and grab a top and a bottom, and you can elicit a sign or a word as your way to initiate this activity. You can have a child do more or go or please, or even something like swing at the beginning to request a new activity. You'll want to keep it really fun by saying something like swing or wee or whatever exclamatory or novel word you want to do with that. And to be sure that you're giving a child a cue that you're about to stop. Children need to anticipate what's about to happen in routine, so you'll want to come up with something really cute to signal that the routine is about to be over. I love the one that my friend Kate Hensler, who's a developmental interventionist and co-host of my podcast, Teach Me to Talk with Laura and Kate. I love the routine she does. When the swinging is about to be over, she says, bumpity bump, bumpity bump, bumpity bump on my rump. And while she's doing that, she's bumping the child down so that he really gets that jarring input to his backside. But what did it do language-wise? It let him know that the routine is about to be over. She stops, and then she gives the child the opportunity to ask for more. And again, you're going to, with some kids it might be just reaching for the blanket. For some kids it's going to be working on your sign. For some kids they're at the word level or the phrase level. They need to say more or swing or my turn or again or whatever word that you've used there. So I hope that by talking about this I've given you some new ideas to incorporate into your movement activities. If you need more ideas like that, check out my book, Teach Me to Play With You, and it'll give you some cute routines to use, some social games, and even some ways to incorporate language in movement activities like this. That's all for this week. Thank you for joining me for a TeachMeToTalk.com's Therapy Tip of the Week.